You're watching Bophelong on the SABC News channel. I am Pulem Molebatsi, taking you through the next half an hour of life-altering stories of ordinary people who overcome the odds to better their lives and those of others around them. This week's story fits this premise and is intended to spark a conversation about the causes of gender violence. The 365 days of activism for no violence against women and children began today, and the focus globally is on the prevention of violence and protection of victims of this type of violence. Bophelong would like to add an element to the discussions around this campaign, and hopefully it sparks a wider movement. Entrepreneur and community leader in Vanderbijl Park, Mabel Ledwaba, recently started speaking out about her own experience of gender violence as a perpetrator of spousal abuse. Watch this. Mabel Ledwaba is a mother of 3 who've taken upon herself the task of educating the public about domestic violence from her own personal experience as a perpetrator of spousal abuse.
I grew up, I got married. I could say that I had my trophy. Every woman wants to get married, you know. I got my trophy, and I thought it was going to be the bold and the beautiful, you know. And only when I was those few years in my marriage, I thought, oh my goodness, these are realities that I have to face, and nobody could tell you anything about that. Those challenges that you find in a marriage. And then a lot of things, we will come to that. A lot of things happened, and I started realizing that there's the ugliness in me. There's the ugly part in me that I cannot even describe to myself. Oh my goodness. When I don't get my way, I throw things around. I was screaming. My temper would go up, and I wouldn't want to be that person.
She learned the consequences of this behavior the hard way.
If I say that I had a fight with my husband and I just ended up having to, stab him with a knife, and that was not the intention. When this happened, I was very close to, I was seeking God so much that, I would go into do my devotions, and because I really wanted to deal with, because already I was aware that I had issues that I had to face, and I had to work on myself, and that takes discipline, and that takes self-control. When you do self-introspection, you see each and every person here on earth. You don't come the way you are, and you don't have to leave this earth the way you are. There is a character in you that you need to work on. So I took it upon myself. I had to say, Mabel, my goodness, this is who I am.
While tracing her steps, Mabel came to this realization.
Women can be violent too. And, when even we have to talk about that, I never condone any action. Okay? I always say that let's look at the root. Let's look at the root. And here it's not about pointing fingers, but there are cases. As a woman, you've had an affair. There were cases where you and your partner, there was this. And what is it that you don't have to say? You know what ticks him off. You know what takes him up the roof. So why do you have to do that? We are responsible. We are accountable. Yes, he is responsible for his action as well. But you cannot just be reckless and just do whatever because of, he will be abusing me. Then it will be called abuse. Why don't we address this issue of what leads people to be abusive? We scream at our husbands. We don't respect our husbands.
Mabel has since begun to work on herself by seeking spiritual guidance.
I had to allow the Word of God to transform me. And I give all the glory, all the credit to the Word of God. It changed my behavior. It changed my character. And I'm still a work in progress.
Her husband chose to stand by her side and see her through recovery.
He he had every reason to have said, you know what, let's just end this marriage. But he saw the good in this marriage. And being the one who was at fault, because I'm the one who insulted him, you know, you can imagine it affected our family members. It affected everybody that was in our circle, in our family circle. It was a very, very, very volatile, you know, it was a volatile. Is volatile the right word? Yes. It was very sensitive. You know, I insulted someone else's son. You know, you can imagine what happened through my mother-in-law, the brothers, the sisters, and all those kind of things. You know, and I took a step back and I looked into myself and I looked into what led me to do that, because I knew that I am not that kind of a person. And for sure my husband, he knew that I'm not that kind of a wife. Okay, it was not for him to fix me. It was for me to take accountability of my own actions.
Since this experience, Mabel has taken interest in talking to women so that they become aware of factors that could come between them and their partners. Remember to share your thoughts on today's stories and others you've seen on the show. Our contact details are on the bottom of your screen right now. Time now for a short break. We'll be right back.
It's more than a gift, it's capturing summer magic. Get a Galaxy S7 Edge with Tab 3 Lite bundle for $6.99 per month on My MTN Choice Flexi 200. Plus your choice of a Gear VR or an accessory kit. The Galaxy S7 Edge, now in blue coral.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the man who takes the party from zero to hero, from bland to grand, from average to, well, to way above average. The guy who toots the party train horn and says, "All aboard! You are indeed a party comrade, and we salute you with a bottle of Chivas Regal 12-year-old blended Scotch whiskey, plus 2 glasses for just $279.99, exclusive to Tops at Spa."
Give me that paperwork.
Where is your
Give me that paperwork.
Where is your paperwork?
Like I'm everything, I don't know what's going on. Suddenly I'm locked up.
This is not fair. Senta Basizan. Not fair.
Ukuputse rent ka 200. Hape se kupula ka 200. Uri ngwana, uyi 150 plus koloi. Leon, let me in another one 150.
I'm just the one to lock you out.
Yes, that's one to lock me then out.
You are starting gangsterism.
No! No!
Information-hungry viewers stay with SABC News, as issues on the West are different from issues on the East or here in Johannesburg. So it is not surprising that people who follow the news know that there are two things for sure: that anything can happen, and SABC News will tell you when it does. Because we keep the nation fully informed. We are SABC News.
Welcome back to the show right here on the SABC News channel. Mabel Ledwaba has since found a way to heal through her struggles in marriage. She uses her business to gather with other women to share and guide one another through a program she calls emotional healing. Take a look. Divine Salon, founded by Mabel Ledwaba, has become a gathering spot where women don't only transform on the outside, but share ideas and life lessons in an effort to build their character and overcome personal hurdles.
After the interaction that I have with women, there are other women that are married but their husbands don't even touch them. You know, there are women there that are longing for touch. And, you know, there are different love languages. Other people, when you touch them, they feel accepted. You know, so when we extend that to our customers, that is that. I teach them the skill of knowing how to open up, directing everything that you are battling with. You write them down and you give them to God. There isn't any story that any woman will ever say that has never been heard of.
At the beginning, Mabel would lend an ear to women who came to the shop, but over time, she began to share with them her own personal struggles.
They also had issues. And now when you have these issues, you think that you're the only one who's having issues. Because now you're looking at other people's life. You sit from the outside and you think that it's rosy. And they just tell you about the nicer part about their life. But they don't tell you about the bad things that are happening.
Mabel and her team have introduced emotional healing to her clients, a free service that offers emotional care to women who come to the shop looking to achieve more than just external beauty.
Inner beauty, that is being beautiful in the inside. What does being beautiful in the inside mean? As human beings, we have the inner life and the outer life. And the majority of people, we more concentrate on our outer life. I focus on how my makeup looks, how my hair looks, you know, what car I drive, where do I stay and all that. So I focus more on that and I forget the inner me, what makes me, you know, the real you. And your inner you, that is the real you. What happens in your inside ends up coming outside. It reflects itself. It comes out one way or the other. When I talk about, you know, emotional healing, when I even tell people about my story, others say, oh, it's like you're talking to me. You're talking about me. You know, this is what I did. You know, I thought I'm the only one. You see, because we don't talk about these issues. When we are struggling about them, we bottle up and we don't seek for help. And these are things that when we talk about them, because of anything that is hidden, you become a slave to it. And the thing is that we attend to cases while it's too late. We attend to cases while it's too late. We need to have a culture of preventing, a culture of attending to things before they can react. So with this emotional healing, we address those issues. We address the issues so that you don't have to end up. I don't want any woman. It is the grace of God that I didn't, you know, that knife didn't end up in a wrong place or went deeper. Because of when you do that, anybody doing, you know, end up being in a violent act, your adrenaline is high. You are not even in your senses when you do that. Do you understand? So we need to train people on how do you control your emotions. My advice is that do one thing and do it good and make the best out of it.
Mabel's message is directed to women because when she was experiencing challenges in her life, she shied away from opening up about her personal problems because of the shame that comes with the confession of being a perpetrator of domestic violence.
Going on a national TV now about my story, I've overgone that. I've passed that because of, if I hold it in, I wish somebody could have told me this before I did what I did, you know. And when it happened, I really felt that God was saying that to me, Mabel, I can trust you. I can trust you. You'll go to the world and tell it the way it is. It will forever catch up. You know, and you might even lose your soul because of you are protecting something that is killing you. it might not look like that, but it is killing you. So, look out, look out for help. Go out there, talk, get a counselor, speak out.
And with that, we take a short break. We are back with more right after this.
Animation, virtual reality and games. We have all of that and other technology and social media news.
I've got the full version of the game at home, so I play it a lot at home.
We also tell you how Africans are using tech to improve their lives.
We have to close the digital gap.
So join us on Network for your African technology and social media news. That's Network with Ms. Mandelas Only every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
What is a national anthem and why do we need national anthems?
A national anthem becomes an instrument to foster social cohesion, identity, to create a sense of identity of a country.
It does happen that people feel that they cannot commit to what the national anthem does.
Unity is not formed from the sky. People don't just despise the national anthem, but it is because of certain things that are actually happening. The issue of languages, for instance. The issue of apartheid statues and monuments.
Did you know that Vilakazi Street is the only street in the world to have housed 2 Nobel Prize winners? Vilakazi Street in Orlando West, Soweto, southwest of Johannesburg in the Republic of South Africa, has been home to Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Nelson Mandela's house was a modest family house from 1946 and still maintains those features. Archbishop Desmond Tutu still owns his house in Vilakazi Street since 1975 and often goes to stay there when visiting Johannesburg. Because of its popularity, the street has an influx of tourists. Restaurants with local cuisine have mushroomed around it, creating job opportunities for the locals and improving the lifestyle in the area. Orlando West High School in Vilakazi Street is known for its creative role during the famous 1976 uprising.
Welcome back. You're still watching Bophelong with me, Bophelong. Let's continue with Mabel's story. In this next inset, we hear from other women how Mabel have assisted them with their own challenges. Once a week, at her shop, Mabel Ledwaba closes for business at the end of the day. She then prepares for an emotional healing session.
On a Thursday, by around 5 o'clock, we used to do them on Fridays, and you find that Fridays we are very busy, and by this time sometimes we still have clients in the salon, and because of I'm very hands-on, I help with the clients as well. By the time now we start the sessions, I'm still tired a little bit, so by 5 o'clock I start coming out of the zone, and it's an internal thing that that okay, by 7 o'clock I'm gonna be going live stream, because emotionally we speak a lot with our social media followers, and I just zoom out in a way. 3, 2, 1. Welcome guys.
Thank you.
How are you? Wow. We were talking about a human being being a three-part being. When you give yourself to people and there's a specific topic that you talk about, you put yourself in the position of the person that is going through that. And it is not a gimmick. I'm not sharing a story that I read. I'm not sharing a motivation that I've heard of or I've heard somebody preaching about. I'm sharing what I've been through and what I go through. In the workshops, then I tell the women that write the stories, because of every pain is an occurrence. There are other pains that happen to us that you cannot even give it a name. You get rejected. There is a pain. And if you don't deal with that rejection, it piles up, it sits, it doesn't go anywhere. You know, when I talk to young women, I say, other women, they don't want to get married because they were dumped so many times and then they just hate men. Do you understand? And then they reject each and every man that wants to come near to us. We do journaling. Okay? You open up to God. I teach them the skill of knowing how to open up, directing everything that you are battling with. You write them down and you give them to God. There isn't any story that any woman will ever say that has never been heard of.
At the end of the session, we sat down with women who attended the workshop, and this is what they had to say about Mabel's healing process.
You know, when you are growing up, o na le dintho tse ngata tse o fetang mo tsona, ha o tsebe o batla ho ya kae, life ya o santsane e le like mixed around, but yena ke motho na khona o dula le wena fatshe a o botse hore o batla eng, a o thuse, ona o supporta, a o advise. Most of all, she would give you love. Nna le yena I can say we click a lot when it comes to beliefs. She's a woman who believes and trusts in God so much, and that's why I love her so much. The only thing e le go ke rata haholo yena ke belief ya ho Modimo. She speaks about God every day. Hakala kopana le wena, the thing o tlo itsebang ka yena kore she's a woman of God.
What would you say were the things that you were personally struggling with?
I thought the world revolved around me somehow, if I can put it like that. But then I got to learn that sometimes in a situation, you actually also just look at your part, the part that you've played in the whole situation, how maybe you might think the problem is somebody else, only to find out that you're the one with the problem, basically. Yeah, so it's self-introspection. Basically, is one of the most things that I never wanted to admit when I was wrong, or it has always been somebody else's fault. But now, I mean, even the way I'd react to situations, there's things that I'd think that a few months ago I'd probably would have burnt this building if something like this happens. But now I can actually recollect myself, think first, and then 2 minutes later I realized that, okay, actually it wasn't even worth. I'm glad I didn't react a certain way because it really wasn't worth it, type of thing.
When she first told you about the spiritual, emotional healing, were you keen and what?
No, I mean, I saw it on the page. I follow her Facebook page, the Salon Facebook page, and I saw it. And when you kind of you okay, you everything career-wise kind of shaping up, but there's just that void, like you just feel there's something missing, and then I just decided, let me go check this out and find out, and it was the best decision because then like I've grown so much. Yeah.
Okay, would you recommend people to come?
I would. And the thing is, when people see emotional healing, it's scary because people are like, oh, I don't want people to know my business, and they automatically think, oh, these are like the most broken people on earth who would want to attend it. And it's not even about that. I mean, it's really about having a mentor, actually having a therapist for free. It's a free therapy session because it's an open dialogue. You ask questions, You know what I'm saying? And it's like getting a mentor for free as well. You know, so I would really highly recommend it to come in, and it's even better live because you're able to ask questions, you're able to, you know, interact.
Would like to thank Mabel for sharing her story and for you at home for watching. Until next week, it's a goodbye from us here on this show.
When cell phones get cut off, people say Mdluli was listening. Who are you?
We have to approach Dennis Breitenbach, who was the prosecutor by then.
The DA parliamentarian?
That's correct. The one who was making halabaloo about me.
There are allegations here that you abused the slush fund. What do you say to that?
We don't have slush fund. I don't know about slush fund.
I respect the fact that you cannot talk a lot about the Secret Service and all that. I guess that's the norm internationally.
Yeah.
But how do we know that you, Richard Mdluli, are not abusing the funds of the state? You are counted amongst the president's men. Are you?
That is rubbish.
Also the matter of General Boysen in KZN. He's not speaking very well of you.
No, that one is talking rubbish.
You are perceived to be very powerful, General, and you know, people who don't agree with you seem to pay the price. What is happening with the Oparamribe case?
No, I'm surprised.